You're on the vino as well. Look at you.
I am on the vino, mate. I am on the vino. Have to be. It's been a long ass day, so I've got to be on the vino. Bit of white vino, bit of vino blanco.
Bit of vinegar.
That's all it is, really. I can't afford wine. They won't sell it to me anymore. I get too drunk.
Too drunk. No way.
How are you doing, Stevie? How are you doing? How's things?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right.
How's your week been?
Yeah, my week's been great because I've been off since Monday, so I picked a really good week to be off.
Excellent. Very good. Well,
your current bun, yeah.
No, excellent. So, just a quick holiday, or
just chilling, mate. Just a few jobs around the house.
Yeah.
A few tip runs, a bit shit, but I think you mentioned it earlier on that you'd been choosing fucking paint or something. It's just the joys, isn't it? It's horrible. I'd rather be at work.
I'd much rather be at work because at least you have everything laid out and someone goes, right, you need to go and do this, that's fine. But for me, honestly, it's the wife.
Jimmy, it's the wife.
That's the cause of all of our problems, I'm afraid.
Mate, that's a whole new pod.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna get into it. But I think I've said enough for people to understand what I mean and why the whole paint situation was a pain.
Fucking yeah, that's about it.
So even tonight, literally just doing a bit of a skirting board painting and all that stuff, and same questions. Oh, did you tape this? Why didn't you tape this? When are we doing this? When are we getting kickboards? Like,
yeah,
it's 9 o'clock, and I've literally just sat down to have my tea. Which obviously when I message you, right? And that's just constant questioning. It's like, all right, I'm gonna check out now, I'm afraid.
Honestly, like when the baby arrives, it's fucking
it's gonna be worse. I know. It's gonna be a lot worse. I know. It's bad. It's baddish now.
Yeah.
Because of the extra demands, but it's gonna be a pain in the ass.
Do you know what?
Hence the Blanco Vino.
Yeah, I've had a Kraken earlier, and I'm looking at it now thinking, I think I need more.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
I'm fucking riled.
Release the Kraken, mate. That's all I got. Anyways, on better notes, I guess. Do we have better notes?
No, mate. I just want to quickly interject there, and just to tell you, just to set our stall out. I'm not going to go obviously as depressing as I was last week.
No.
But to say I'm underwhelmed is an understatement again, and I want to move swiftly into it once you've had your say on your personal thoughts on the whole scenario so far.
Should we just get straight into it? Should we? Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, okay. Well, obviously, it's been a few days now. It's actually been almost a week since the news broke about former Arsenal player Thomas Partey. I'm guessing that's the personal opinion you want me to have on, right? There's nothing else that happened really, so I'm gonna stick with that. I think that's the one. But yeah, obviously, people know by now what's happened. But whether he's been charged on certain counts, which again, there's no point really rehashing what counts he's been charged with because it's already out there. People know already. Personal thoughts in all seriousness, Stevie, I think I don't agree with the majority of the Arsenal fan base and punditry out there. I think they have forgotten that this situation's been going on for 3 years, and then all of a sudden now when he's been officially arrested by the way, still don't know any evidence, don't know what's actually out there against him, whether it's just going to be her words or their words against his. I don't know, right? So I don't want to get too don't want to step on too many things because people start getting sensitive, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh well, you're caring about the player, you're not caring about the women. It's like, right, relax, that's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that right now, as we sit here and we discuss this, I know we've had this discussion offline anyway, but for me, I don't agree with all the punditry, obviously them going, oh, I can't believe Arsenal, it's almost a disgrace, very disappointed. These are the words that I've heard being thrown around, but to be honest, apart from the arrest, nothing really has changed. I know it sounds crazy because he's officially been arrested, so that, you know, technically there should be something there against him. But I haven't heard of that shit personally. I don't think you have, and I don't even think many of the pundits have who are writing, like, you know, from The Athletic or Sky Sports or whatever. All they can say is what has been already reported, you know. So that's why I think when I was watching, when I was listening to Arseblog and Arsenal Vision podcast, same thing, you know, they were saying that the same thing as everyone else, you know, I'm disappointed in the club. They should have done something earlier. They didn't have to sack him, but they could have just left him on the bench. They didn't have to pick him. They didn't have to renegotiate a new contract. I don't agree with any of that, and because I just think, you know, people are jumping on the bandwagon now because it's officially happened. You know what I mean? Because for 3 years, it'd been unofficial. Nothing had been actually, you know, concrete, whether that's evidence or whether that's, you know, the name in the player, even though we all knew who it was for 3 years. So that's why I don't agree with them. I feel like, you know, they've jumped on the bandwagon, and it's like they're pandering to the crowd, to be honest, you know, because most of the people listening, they're going to be, you know, oh, fuck, yeah, he's an abuser. Hey, fair enough. If he's been arrested for that and the evidence shows that that is the guy who he is, then yeah, by all means, you send him to jail. You send him to jail for as long as is possible. That's not, you know, I'm not here defending Thomas Partey. All I'm saying is that right now, let's just sit on the fence a little bit, because like I said, I haven't seen any evidence on the contrary. That's my personal opinion on it. And like I said, when it comes to listen to other Arsenal channels and whatnot, no, I think they just got a bit too far with pandering to the majority of the crowd, who obviously, you know, want to agree with the Thomas Partey thing. So.
Yeah, I agree. In one respect of what you're saying about, you know, there's no concrete evidence as such as yet, and I do think we have to reserve judgment until he actually has been found guilty, and I do stand by that. And obviously, being an Arsenal fan and an Arsenal supporter, it was always in the back of my mind that something was probably not right about the whole scenario, and there's no smoke without fire. The only thing that it does paint us in a bad light. And I know that the media and everybody who are Arsenal fans kind of want it in for us, and obviously any
this is the fuel, isn't it? This is the fuel for them.
Absolutely, yeah, and it's probably going to impact on our season, I would have thought.
Mm-hmm.
But
I agree.
I do think that I don't know if you remember Mendy.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And obviously they suspended him instantly, didn't they?
They did. That's the way that City went. Yeah.
And I just think, as a classy club that we're, you know, in inverted commas, that we're supposed to be known as, surely we should have took that route. And I know what people are going to argue, and they are going to argue and say, look, he's innocent until proven guilty. I understand that. And I think Mendy's actually got off with it, hasn't he? I believe
he did get off with it, and I think
he's going to sue Man City for X amount of millions or whatever, loss of earnings and stuff.
And he's gonna get them. He's gonna win that case.
But as a club, and the decent thing, if there's any, it's a toss of a coin. I'm really sort of not sure how to deal with it, because in one respect, I'm all for Partey because he's a great player, but at the same time, was something not right? You know, was his injuries real? Were they fake because there was issues going on? You don't know, do you? And like it's I think we never know.
I think if the injuries were faked, I believe that would be up to the club for them to have to save face, basically, just to be like, right, yeah, well, technically we didn't pick him, but the reason that we're going to give you is because he's injured, which is fine. And look, I accept that because, like I said, at the end of the day, we don't know what the club know. We don't know if the police or the CPS have gone up to the club and said, look, this is the evidence that we have. Now it's your decision. If that's the case, and they presented evidence, proper concrete evidence to the club, and the club still wanted to renegotiate his contract, and they still picked him, then yeah, that is a problem. That is a massive problem. But unfortunately, we don't know that. We are not privy to what they have seen, and that's why I will maintain my thinking about this, and that's where I'll stick with what I thought about it initially. Yes, absolutely, we're gonna get We're going to get tortured in the media. As soon as the league starts, as soon as the new season starts, we're going to get absolutely hammered by everyone. And I accept that. And that's the first thing that we said to each other on message when this news broke that he was arrested. That's what we said. The blowback on Arsenal is going to be insane. And yes, it's already started. And unfortunately though, like the same people who are saying this now, they were not saying that 3 years ago. Do you know what I mean? Like they kept quiet for 3 years. They'll always fall back on legally we have to keep quiet. That's fine. You don't have to mention him by name. You can still talk about the case. You do not have to mention anyone by name. We all knew who it was in the Premier League. That Premier League player that's going to be charged or that has been sort of accused of this. We all knew who it was way back when. Do you know what I mean? So surely these same people could have made it their own opinion rather than sort of, fighting for it. Could have made their own opinion to be like, well, I don't think you should pick a certain player. Again, you don't have to mention names. But I just find it hilarious that all of a sudden, everyone's like, oh, the club, they did this and I can't believe that they wanted to renegotiate and they picked him and all this stuff. I'm sorry, but as far as I'm concerned, that was just an accusation, right? It was just an accusation. There was... I will say, this word's going to be overused today, but there was absolutely no evidence proved or shown to us as fans, outside of the club, as fans, for us to make such a strong decision. There's a writer for The Athletic, and he does Arsblog podcast as well, Arscast Extra, called James McNicholas. Genuinely, I think he's brilliant, and I love listening to him. His insights are fantastic. However, the Thomas Partey discussion, which they had on the previous podcast just this week, I was driving and I kept saying, I do not agree with what you're saying. I do not agree, because it's all of a sudden. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know his thoughts throughout the last 3 years, and all of a sudden he's changed like this. He's flipped like that. Nah, I don't agree with it. And that, for me, that's what pisses me off more than anything. It's like, okay, I understand that, if he gets charged and he actually did what he did, fair enough. No one's gonna be like, oh, fucking poor Thomas Partey. No, you're going to jail, son. Right? You are going to jail. No one's gonna feel sorry for you. See you later. But I'm sorry, but I still subscribe to the innocent till guilty. Like, that's it for me. And I don't care if people be like, well, morally should this... No. Fuck morally. Logically, as far as I'm concerned, he was only accused. That's it. He wasn't arrested then. It's like walking down the street and someone pointing a finger from across the street going, he did it. Right, but what did I do? What are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, where's the evidence? So I'm sorry, but no, I will stick with innocent until proven guilty, because I just think it's ridiculous that it's happening too often now. And I don't want to get into a whole conversation about, whether the women are lying or whatever bullshit, whatever it is. Don't want to get into that. But unfortunately, in the society that we live, this shit has happened way too many times. Benjamin Mendy, you mentioned, it happened to Ronaldo a few times. All cases dropped, by the way. All cases dropped because it was some dumb bitch who wanted to get some money. And I'm sorry for using those words, but that's just the way it is. If you're going to go down the route of trying to do that and trying to ruin a person, not a player's, a person's life, I'm sorry, you are a dumb bitch, as far as I'm concerned.
Loz, I can see how it's really touched a nerve, and I
it has,
love
mate.
the
It
passion,
has.
mate. I love it, honestly. And you absolutely 100% spot on with everything you said, for right down to the dumb fucking bitch who try to accuse people, because and I've been in situations where I've known footballers, and I've known they used to be call them groupies years ago. Yeah, and I remember years ago, girls would do anything to get in, because it's a bit of fame. Yeah, they would honestly do anything, and you think, oh, you fucking loan yourself to that. You know what I mean? These are ugly fucking footballers. You're absolutely gorgeous, yet you will lower yourself to such a standard that I've lost all respect for you. So don't get me wrong, I agree completely that women will do anything for money, for fame, for whatever. And he could have been in a position where they've took advantage of him. We don't know, and like you say, we'll probably never know. And it's going to be one of those things that'll rumble on. bear the brunt of it as fans, and the team will bear the brunt because obviously everyone will be against us more so than they were last season. PGMOL, referees, etc., etc. So it's a fucking absolute travesty, really. But it's happened. But my only real problem with it is the fact that it's come out the day after his contract ends, and it just looks so shit by the club.
Yeah.
Fuck me. Like, what on earth are they playing at? Like, if they'd have said it 6 months ago, look, we're suspended, because it would have been, it looked so much better. It looked so much better, but we fucking ruined it, honestly.
Morally, it would have looked so much better. And I think it just seems like a scenario where they kind of were told, very close to his contract renewal or contract being up sort of thing. I think that's when they were told, and unfortunately, they couldn't, in a moral sense, extend that contract any further, because I'm pretty sure they wanted to, and I'm pretty sure Thomas Partey wanted to stay as well. But in this case, I think the club acted properly, because it's like, well, okay, just because we heard about it on the 31st or 30th or whatever it was, whatever the date was, that doesn't mean that's when the decision came through. That doesn't mean that 2 days beforehand that conversation wasn't had with Mikel Arteta and the rest of the executives. Do you know what I mean? So again, people think, oh well, it came out a day before his contract, so that must mean this. It's like, well, no, because that's when we found out. You know what I mean? Like, this could have happened a couple of weeks beforehand, but they were like, well, you can't say anything until his contract is up because he's still our player. So again, many different factors that can go into this, and this is why I can't, in good sort of thinking, I cannot sit here and be like, oh yeah, Thomas Partey definitely deserves to go to jail. I don't know that. If again, like I said, if tomorrow on the news I read that this is the evidence, here is video evidence or messages that sort of put him into that situation, then yeah, send him to jail.
It literally is your word against mine. How can they prove it? How can they prove it?
I don't know. This is what I'm saying. Oh, I've got messages. Okay, I've seen some of those Snapchat messages, and the username was like Lion's Den or something like that. Oh, I can't remember what it was. What does that mean? What does that mean? Does that mean that's Thomas Partey? Like, what? See what I'm saying? Like, it could be literally anyone. It could be anyone. And again, unfortunately, for people listening to this, that they're probably thinking, oh well, I can't believe you're going to blame the abused woman. I'm not blaming. Again, there is no blame going here, either on Partey or the women, right? All I'm saying is, like, let's just sit on the fence and find out what's actually happened, because unfortunately, we live in a world where women will do this. And again, people will argue, like, oh, what do you mean? People will be getting abused. Not all of them, mate. Right? The women who are getting abused, unfortunately, they are the ones who most likely will keep it quiet, keep it to themselves, and then, or maybe at some point in the next 10 years, go to the police. But it just seems a bit like, oh, it happened, and then all of a sudden, that's it. I was abused or whatever. Like, well, I don't know. You could have been playing.
We'll never know.
Exactly.
We'll never know. Like the same with the fucking January transfer window. We will never know. But we don't want to go there just yet.
But I'm glad that you brought it up though, because again, throughout the week I've been sending you messages about how pissed off I've been with these Arsenal outlets, because it's like, you've just thrown our own player, obviously, and this former player, under the fucking bus, mate. Like, under the bus straight away. As soon as the woman opened her mouth, Thomas Partey did it. That's it. We should lynch that guy. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? So if I write a tweet out tomorrow, just randomly tag a fucking player, I was abused by, whatever Exens or whatever it is, does that mean that player has to be suspended because I've said a word?
Yeah.
I don't know.
100%,
I don't know, man. It's a very, very fine line, a very thin line that obviously that we can tread, and yeah, some people will take it the way that we're looking at it. Some people will be like, well, no, I think it's morally wrong. That's fine. I'm not here to change anyone's mind. I just think personally, I think it's fucking outrageous how all of a sudden everyone's like, oh, Thomas Partey definitely did it. What?
I know.
What?
Were you there?
Yeah, were you? Yeah, literally. Yeah, if you were there, then you should be accessory to that shit, right? But no, I'm glad that you brought it up, because it's been over a week, and because we've read so many articles and watched so many videos on it, I kind of forgot about it, to be fair, because it was sort of settled in my brain. But yeah, this is a perfect outlet for it. But yeah, that's my personal opinion on it, and I don't know. Not everyone's going to agree. So
no, it's like you say, it's opinions. It's like anything. It's an opinion whether you think he's guilty or whether you think he's innocent. That's all it is until proven guilty. And like we say, and we'll keep saying it until any evidence comes out, or if he actually comes out and admits it, which you wouldn't if you're innocent. So
exactly,
it's just going to go on and on and on, isn't it? I think isn't the trial later this month or something, or
they moved it up that quick.
Well, effectively, he could have just sort of, if he knew he was guilty, he could have said, right, I'm leaving next week and I'm fucking off to, I don't know, back to Ghana, where he could get trialed. Yeah. So it's just pathetic, really. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. The fact that he stuck around and we just haven't heard much. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've heard that, he got arrested, but that's it. There's nothing else that came from that. So yeah, I just think it's, I don't want to say blown out of proportion, because obviously the guy has been arrested. So, there must be something there if he has been arrested after 3 years. So the CPS, obviously, maybe they're that slow. Maybe they just came to his paperwork now. They're like, oh, Thomas Partey, if I get arrested. So I don't know. I don't know how the legal system works.
Well, I just think, like you say, I know obviously you feel very strongly about it. I'm just concerned at the way that the team, the club's handled it, and that's just my personal opinion. Anyway, enough of Partey. Anything else to say on him?
No, I think that's it. But yeah, in terms of the club, as far as they were concerned, he was under contract.
So was Mendy.
No, I'm saying, like, so that's why Arsenal, opted to keep him on and pick him, because he was still under contract. But Mendy, obviously, with Man City, did it a bit too hastily. There you go. Well, clearly, because he's going to send him to court now. So, I don't think the club did much wrong there, unless they knew exactly what he was accused of, and again, there was evidence and blah 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 and so on. But I don't think there was.
Maybe they just thought like us and thought, look, he's innocent till proven guilty. It's hearsay, it's her word against his.
That's it.
Etc. So now we're going to keep playing him, keep picking him. But they should have known the ramifications were going to come out.
It's
absolutely. All going to, be negative towards us. But anyway, let's
absolutely. Sorry, I was just going to say, like, there's been a lot of the club has a moral obligation. Yes, they do, but they also have a contractual obligation to their player, because if they cut his contract, again, goes down the route of going to court and suing and all that stuff. And again, I'm not saying that's that's a big thing for Arsenal, for example. It's a small thing, pay him off sort of thing, whatever it is. But unfortunately, their moral obligation was, he's our player, we know him, we speak with him every day, we know what type of person he is. There's no reason for me to get rid of him, because like you said, it's just her word against his. Do you know? Obviously, I know there was 3 different women involved, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it a bit more difficult.
Lucky bloke if he's had 3 women
doing that stuff at the same time. Fucking hell, yeah. Anyway, we're not going to get into that. But yeah. So I don't think the club broke any moral obligation towards the accused women. There was just nothing there, So yeah, let's move on from Partey onto another bit of news. As my vino blanco, sort of soaks into my liver.
Can I just repeat what I said at the beginning?
Go on.
I'm fucking underwhelmed by everything.
Yep.
I'm hearing news and snippets of bits and bobs here and there, and I've kicked the dog, the cat, the kids, the wife, the pots, the pans. I'm fucking about to lose it, really, and I think I will actually get another cracking out after this pod. But I'm really fucking. I'm a bit pissed at the minute. Off.
Oh, pissed off. Okay, good. Because I know you said cracking, so I just wanted to make sure that you're drunk.
Mate, I need to be, because I've had enough. I don't know.
I'm off tomorrow as well, so I'm going to have some drinks.
Nice,
absolutely.
Nice. Well, maybe join us after the pod for some drinks, informal chat, or anything you want.
That's actually a good one. We can do that on Patreon another time. But yeah, that's not a bad idea. Actually,
let me just quickly. So let's just go
for it.
Straight into some transfers. We finally got Zubi over the line.
Yes, we did.
And we've got Odegaard's brother over the line.
Yeah, Nordegaard. Yep.
And the kipper.
Absolutely.
The three underwhelming players.
Yes. And I know you're underwhelmed, right? But I'll be honest, I was kind of happy that we that we're definitely chasing Gyökeres and not Sesko.
I know, but
for me,
this is part of why I'm getting really pissed off, because I've heard the talks have broke down.
Yes, it's about 4 to 5 million difference in valuation, and it's like if Arsenal leave a deal because of that little money, little in context, obviously, to us that's a lot of money, but if they drop a deal because of that little money, then I just don't think ambitions are quite correct. I think at that point it's clear that they want to be more of a business outfit rather than a football team, because that's the only time you would sort of haggle over 4 or 5 million after you spending 60 plus, and it's like, well, it sounds like you want to go down. Arsenal, it seems like they want to come out of this going, oh, fucking hell, the Arsenal, they negotiated strong. They got the player with the money that they want. Right. No, we are in absolutely no position to be doing that shit. We're not Liverpool, no Man City. Okay, so that means you pay the fucking money. There is no reason, absolutely no reason, apart from what I've just said, that they should drop a deal for a striker who has been on the radar for over a year and a half. I'm sorry, but that is not acceptable. I'd be more pissed off with the club over that than the Thomas Partey situation.
100%.
And that's truthful, by the way. That's not even exaggerated. That is truthful. I would be more pissed off if they do that. If they drop Gyökeres and Man United come in for him or some shit, then I'm not into it.
Yeah,
It hurts.
I really don't get the situation if those reports are true, because obviously, how do we know that we are 5 million away? I'm surprised that the deal hasn't been done, so maybe there is some truth in that. And then you see the next report saying that they're paying 50 million for Nonny Juice.
Yeah, my God.
I don't see what the importance is of going for a Chelsea player when the evidence that we have all been seen for the last 3 years that we need a striker, yet they'll go and get a winger to compete with Saka. And it's just like, well, you'll build straight in with 50 million, even though he's probably not worth that. But
it's not worth that at all.
Straight in with that, and then they're saying they want more. And I'm just thinking to myself, well, hang on a minute. So you paid 51 million or whatever it is for Zubimendi, midfielder. You paid 100 million for Rice.
Yeah.
You paid 30 million for Marino. You paid 65 million for Havertz. Yet you won't pay the money
for a player that is
proven.
Desperately needed as well.
In this Premiership, but fucking hell, Havertz wasn't proven in the Premiership. He's not a 30-goal, 25. He was just an average player. Yet they paid 60 odd million for him and give him 280 grand a week.
Yeah.
Yet the and ahhing about 5 million, and I'm thinking to myself, like you say, is it a business? And if they walk away from that deal and we don't get anyone and we get Mad Wecky, I will be done.
Yeah, it's not good enough. But I won't be watching any of the matches as much as I have in the past few seasons. I'll tell you that much right now.
Certainly
because I don't want
dice for the kids.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't care how good the new kits are or whatever. I'm not into it. I mean, whilst we're throwing away a Gyökeres deal, Tottenham have triggered a £60 million release on Gibbs White.
Yeah.
Who else? Kudus has signed for Spurs.
Yeah.
And hold on, there was one more. I think I've just seen another. Elanga.
Elanga, to me, he's
excellent player. Excellent player.
Nonny Juice, isn't he?
Yeah, mate.
He paid 40 million.
How we never went in for Elanga and we let Newcastle take him, I don't know. Who? See, this is the frustrating part, isn't it? Like, who is making these decisions? Because we can't even blame. Yeah, we can't even blame it on Berta anymore because he seemed to be doing what he's doing. He's out there meeting, shaking hands, and all that stuff. But what is going on? And then I read here that Nottingham Forest have made a bid for Brentford's Wissa. It's like, what? What are we doing? What are we doing here, guys? Like, seriously, what the hell are we doing here? Well, I don't know.
To myself, like, look, okay. I don't want to go down the negative route of, okay, if we don't, because I sent you a message earlier, and I was like, mate, here we go. We're going to get him. I thought literally Romano was saying, it's literally done to 5-year contract, and it's 60 million just to find the details. And the representatives of Arsenal are flying out to Portugal, and it's literally a matter of hours. And then you get that news, and you start thinking to yourself, right, okay, if we don't get Gyökeres, right, so you can't go back for Sesko now after what we've said. Isak is an absolute fucking pipe dream, but you never know with Arsenal.
No.
And then you start thinking, well, Watkins, would he do? And then you start thinking, is there a case for Mateta? Is there a case for Chris Wood? And you think, fucking hell, hang on a minute. This is Arsenal.
Yeah.
We should be going for Isak. We should just be going saying, look, Gyökeres, okay, we're 5 million apart. Let's meet you in the middle, blah, blah, blah. Not just walking away. It's just, it begs the question, have you looked, you will have, but Chelsea, I brought it down here, they've signed Gittins, 50 million.
Yep. Pedro, yep.
60 million. Delap, 30. Willian, 29. And Asugo, 18, I don't know who they are. But, I mean, obviously you saw Pedro's goals probably the other night, fucking just pains you, doesn't it, to see.
Yeah.
He's got cracking goals. But
It does. And like you said... Yeah, exactly. That is the main question. Like, what are we doing here? And the fact that everyone else is strengthening and we're just pissing about with Norgard and fucking Keeper the Keeper and all that stuff. Whatever. No, Keeper the Keeper. That's the one. It's just it. I don't know. I got excited at the beginning of the week because of the whole Gyökeres links, and Romano came out and said that personal terms have been agreed. He's even willing to take a pay cut to come to us. That's like nearly 2 million a year, by the way, pay cut that he's willing to take to come to us.
Cut. I think his wages are going to be massive. I just think that he's forfeiting his wages, wasn't it, or something? I saw the 2 million link, and then someone said he was going to be earning 200 grand a week. I don't know. Anyway,
it could be forfeiting his wages to make up to the difference in valuation. Yeah. And I mean, even that, if he does that, then shit. What do you want him to do, Arteta?
I know.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's gone too far now. It really has. It's gone too far now where, again, just like Zubimendi, we're going to be underwhelmed by any signing that comes in. Even if we sign Gyökeres in the next week, we're still going to be underwhelming. I'm not going to be as excited.
I look at... so we haven't really improved the squad, have we? We've just replaced. Look at it.
Yeah, we have.
We've just replaced. We haven't improved. So why are we getting excited? If they go and pull Eze, Rodrigo and Gyökeres out, yes, I'm happy. But the way things are looking, they're already in. Is it Malaga now, aren't they? They're on a 5-day, and then they go on the 19th out to Far East, Singapore, whatever.
Japan, isn't it? Yeah, it's Singapore. That's it.
Which is next Saturday or something.
So we could see a potential addition by then, but I'm not holding my breath. And the fact that it's been over a month since the transfer window opened and we're still discussing this bullshit is. It's too much for me right now. And it's boring as well. It's boring because we're just talking about the same stuff that we've already talked about. And the same with all the Arsenal channels that are coming out there. They're still talking about the Seskos and the Gyökereses and stuff like that. Obviously, the only real addition in the transfer rumours was Noni Madueke. And for 50-something million. And Spurs have signed Kudus for about 55 million.
Yeah. I know.
I don't know, man.
It's either Bert is absolutely fucking shit or Arteta's digging his heels in and saying, I don't want that player. I want
him. I want this specific player. Yeah. And it's like, bro, you're not getting Sesko. Just stop
Tottenham,
it.
Obviously, I know Kudus is a great player, but he's mentally probably unstable. He
looks like a Tottenham player.
Yeah.
If I have to say it, he looks like a Tottenham player.
He does. Go and get Kulusevski. If you want someone to compete with Saka, and if it's Kulusevski's going to get his nose pushed out by Morgan Gibbs-White or Kudus or whoever, go and get Kulusevski.
It's irrelevant. If Arsenal come calling from Tottenham, you are going to Arsenal from Tottenham.
Yeah.
As they all have done. They've all done that. But yeah, I agree with you. I totally agree. It's like, well, if Kulusevski's going to be slowly being pushed out, bring him in. He's a great player, and I've always rated him. Even like when he came from Juve, I really rated him. So, and for Tottenham to get him, I just feel like, fucking have to ruin the player's career, really, as far as I'm concerned. Same as Morgan Gibbs-White. He seems like a Tottenham player. When you look at him, he just screams out Spurs. Same as Solanke as well, by the way. Obviously, I know he joined them, and he's always seemed like a Spurs-looking player. So I know
what you mean.
Yeah, there's something about them.
It's a bit lightweight and not a strong character. I don't know, something not right about it. I know what you mean. I do know what you mean.
Like a Calvert-Lewin, if he wasn't as injured, he would be a perfect Tottenham player.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah.
Alan Pardew's reference to what's the difference between him and Gyökeres.
Okay, well, let me tell you, right, Alan Pardew has been clearly smashing his head against the wall, like, ever since he's retired, just constantly banging it. What is he talking about? What is he talking about? It's not even close in terms of players, by the way. Like, we've seen these so-called strikers. It's just, anyway, I don't want to talk about Tottenham anymore.
I see a lot of pods and social media posts and this, that, and the other of what people do actually think of Gyökeres, and I've seen Sesko's YouTube videos. I've seen Gyökeres's, and I can see why I'm pissed off if we don't get either of them, but I can also get why we wouldn't overpay for him. For some in the back of my mind thinks, fucking hell, that's what we need. He's a number 9. He's a fighter. This, that, and the other. But some in the back of my mind thinks, what if he can't do it in the Premiership? Well, we'll never know.
Also a possibility. Absolutely.
We just think, right, okay, go and put the 60 million, and if he fails, he fails. But we should have some ambition to say, look, we've done what the fans wanted.
Yep.
Everyone's crying out for Gyökeres or whoever, and he's not really lived up expectations. But at least we tried, and that would appease the fans, wouldn't it? But for us to not try, if we go down the route of actually getting Ollie Watkins, I'd still be happy, but I'd be thinking, why are we buying him in January?
I wouldn't. I just wouldn't be happy.
I know I wouldn't. But if that's what we end up with, come on.
What's a worse word than underwhelmed? What's worse than that? That's what I would feel about Ollie Watkins.
Are you going to be happy with Eze?
Oh, 100%. Oh, yeah. Oh, baby. Yeah, that got me excited. But no striker.
I like that face.
I don't know, you caught me mid-thought there, I'm afraid.
Why the fuck did you ask me that?
Yeah, God, yeah, my brain. Did you see the little sparks coming out my eyes as well?
I loved your mouth and everything.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Like, I mean, I'd be happy with the fact that we got Eze, but then I know for a fact sometime around October, November time, we'll be like, why didn't we get anyone else? Because everyone's injured now. We got Eze to protect Odegaard, but Odegaard and Eze, they're both injured now. So who do we play there? Havertz has snapped his fucking pinky toe.
There's talk of, I don't know if you've seen Trossard was linked with Fenerbahce, 17 million.
That's right, yeah, that's right. If it's decent enough, like, what, I don't know how much the fee...
17 million roughly.
Really?
17 million euros, it's like 40 million. I don't think it's too bad.
I was going to say about 12 million pounds, to be honest, but that's really good, to be fair. Even if Arsenal could potentially push it to about 21 million, but at the same time they need to realise that they're not dealing with an Everton or a Sunderland. Yes, they may be shit at teams, but they do have money because they're part of the British Premier League. So yeah, they just need to be careful about obviously how they negotiate the pricing with, especially with teams like a Fenerbahce or because they're not Saudi teams, they don't have unlimited money, for God's sake.
No. I just think if we sold Trossard and Eze came in, that's like an upgrade. I don't mind that, and that would sort of obviously excite me slightly. But I still do think we need the Gyökeres.
We need a Rodrigo as well.
I'm a bit worried that he just doesn't fancy a striker. I think he's quite happy with his fucking love child Havertz and Jesus. I just think he's quite happy with that kind of. I know it's not. We know it's not. He'd probably think to himself, oh, well, we're not going to have another injury season, so if I can just strengthen the defence and the midfield, and you know what I mean, we'll be all right. We can't have another bad season. And I'm just thinking, we fucking do need a striker.
We do.
Jesus isn't good enough. Havertz isn't good enough. They're not good enough to win the league.
Nope. And they're proving it for the past 2 seasons. Sorry,
Exactly.
they're proving it that they're not good enough.
It's just I don't know.
I think Havertz got about 15 goals last season. Didn't he for us?
9, didn't he?
Sorry, not last season. The season before. My bad.
Yeah.
I mean, not the one just finished. He had about 15 goals in the league, which was, we thought, yes, that's brilliant. We just need, at that point, that's when we needed the attacker, the striker. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what we needed him, because, well, if Havertz is getting 15 goals, imagine if we actually had a dedicated goal scorer.
Yeah.
That's even better, right? But apparently logic doesn't, it doesn't run through the Arsenal club, as a squad. So, forget that.
Because you look at it and you think, well, we beat all the top teams. We just couldn't beat the shit teams who do the low block. So what's that crying out for? A proper goal threat.
Yeah.
Not this fucking pass and pass. We beat the better teams because they opened up to us.
Yeah.
And we got space in behind them. But the shit teams, we couldn't break them down.
Yeah, because again, it's one way of playing, and there is absolutely no alternating. Yeah, there is no alternating into a plan B. And again, it last season, especially the one that just finished, it showed so much the fact that we just could not change. And again, I know excuses will come out where it's like, we had injuries and all that stuff. Yeah, that's still not good enough, I'm afraid. I know it's an excuse because it happened, and yes, obviously we suffered, but he had opportunities to strengthen the team in the summer and January. Both transfer windows, he did not make the right decisions. Sorry, they did not make the right decisions, because it's a bit unfair just blaming Mikel on the transfers, because again, we're not too sure who's making these definitive decisions. Right at the end, we don't know who's making that. Is it literally just a phone call from Josh Kroenke? Like, we don't know. Him going, yeah, we can't give you 100 million. Yeah, we can only spend 60 million this year. Cool. All right. Yeah, that's fine. So we'll wait until next season.
Surely, like you say, as a business, if they're running it like as a business, they must know what players that they want rid of, like the Trossards, the Tomiyasus, the players that they're going to get money for, like Vieira and things. I think Vieira's linked with Palmer, or somewhere like that. They must know, there must be balance and books. Think, look, if we get X amount for him and X amount for him, we'll be able to spend X amount on him, and him. It's not rocket science, is it? But surely, as a club that's making money, that should be second. They shouldn't have to worry about who they're selling. They should just think, right, look, okay, we've got 250 million. If we don't sell them, then we'll just end the contract, so we've got the money. I just really don't understand. I don't understand how it's been ran, because Tottenham have not sold anyone. They've just spent 100 million, 110 million. Chelsea have spent 200 million and not sold anyone. Sunderland have spent 100 million. They've just signed a Dingra from fucking Brighton, good player. They've only spent 70.
I know, very good player as well, Adingra, by the way. And I'm like, why did we not even have a discussion? Seriously, I know, he's a defender, isn't he? Adingra.
No, he's a winger, isn't he?
He's a winger. Oh, why did I think it was a defender? But anyway, so there you go. There's another player that could have been an excellent addition for us. But
I'm surprised we aren't linked with Mitoma. What a player he is. But
he's a good player. Again, see, this is the thing. Obviously, because he's got his own style and profile of player that he wants. Anyone else is just not good enough in his eyes, and that's the shame, really. I think that's the downfall. As good as it is, as a theory or as a concept to keep in mind, but at the same time, I just think that's his downfall. Because, dude, you need to be flexible. If you need to win, you need to be flexible. And I'm scared. I'm genuinely scared for our team and the rest of the Premier League when they come up against Man City, because I watched a couple of Man City matches in the Club World Cup, and I watched some of the breakdowns of those matches. Mate, I'm telling you right now, Pep Guardiola has been around for a long time. He's won everything that there is to win, everything, and he's still changing his team, amending it and adapting the team to what needs to be done for the next season. He's done that. Yeah. And our manager, who's won one fucking FA Cup, a couple of Community Shields, he's still not changing the team or adapting the team to where it needs to be for the beginning of a season.
Mate, you've just you've made me want him sacked now.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that's how. No, but I agree with you though. Like, I can't help but agree with you, even though I don't want him to be sacked. But when you put it out like that, you just think, well, hang on a minute. If the best manager in the world is
changing and evolving,
proactively evolving his team because he knows he needs to change from last season. I'm sorry, but you just, I don't care who you are. if you're not doing what Pep Guardiola's doing in terms of at least change, I'm not saying copy his exact style into what he's playing, but if you're not adapting the team like he is, I'm sorry, you are going to be nowhere this season, mate. I don't care who you sign. I don't care if you sign Sesko, Gyökeres and Isak at the same time. It's just not going to happen. If the game plan's not there, if the tactics and the strategy's not there to actually break down teams and overwhelm them, I'm sorry, but no.
I mean, you're right. And I look at our team, and I was looking at the pictures and the images from the Malaga when they were all getting off the plane and stuff like that. And I thought, there's Max Darwin there, there's Wanyeri and Zubimendi, Rice, Odegaard. And I'm thinking, we have got a good team. We have. But Man City had a good team and they went and signed Haaland. And look what happened. Why can't we do things? Can't we see it? Can the people that make the decisions not see that and think, why? It's a glaring deficiency. Why can't they see it? Man City saw it, did it. Liverpool's did it. Got Van Dijk did it. Hello.
The fuck? Sorry about the windows open, obviously, because it's hot as fuck in here.
It's just...
I agree.
Disbelief, mate.
I agree, and the fact that both City and Liverpool have made some very, very good signings for next season, that's scary. And we're out here fucking about with Kepa and fucking Zubimendi and it's like, and Norgard. It's like, come on, mate.
I know.
But I mean, what chance do we stand, really? Like, you know what I mean? We just don't, do we? We basically waved the white flag before the fucking season started. It's like, yeah, you got us. That's it. We can't afford anyone else. Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for playing.
Yeah.
It's honestly not good enough. And you mentioned Wanyeri there as well, which is another report which you probably read.
Yeah.
Is he going to sign a new contract? Are they going to offer him a new contract? Are they going to send him out on loan? What's going to happen with one of the best 18-year-olds in the Premier League? I don't know.
Mate,
what do you think of that?
That could be Arteta's downfall if he lets him go. Whether it's selling him, whether it's out on loan, it could be his downfall because our team, really, our squad, it's probably good enough for the top four as it stands. I believe it. If everyone stays injury free, it's good enough for the top four.
I agree.
One or two injuries and we don't make the top four.
We're fucked. Yeah.
We don't make it. Yeah. So especially with the Champions League and everything like that, fuck that. We've gone. So
I agree.
Yeah. So if he doesn't get his finger out in the next 2 weeks, it's at least another 3 players. Say goodbye to the league. Say goodbye to the Champions League.
Yeah, the fact that... Go on. No, go on.
Yeah, the best you can hope for is the top 4. The best, as it is. And that's not good enough.
It's not good enough. Oh, God, no. No, to be second for 3 seasons and then end up 4th in a season where we're like, well, this is the one... we need to win now, end up 4th now. There's no excuse in that. I'm afraid. Like that is for me. That is like, okay, you've sealed your own fate here, pal.
I know.
You've been given the chances. Sorry, he's been given the chances. He's been given the money on not just one transfer window, but on a few of them. And unfortunately, barring a couple of good signings like the Odegaards and stuff like that, everyone else has been meh. Let's just be honest with ourselves, right?
Yeah.
They haven't been that good. So. Even the defender that he signed, like in Tomiyasu, he was good, but unfortunately he had that much injury problems that it's like, well, unfortunately, Arteta, that's going to go against you now because you're the one who picked this player, and surely injury prone doesn't mean as soon as he joins your team. Injury prone means that let me have a look at what he was doing at the other team, or when he was this age. Oh, okay. It's adding up now, so there's no point in me bringing him in, even though he's a very good defender. But what's the point of only bringing him in for 3 fucking game weeks out of 38, right? So yeah, I think with mistakes have been made, absolutely no doubt. But who those mistakes will ultimately end with, we don't know. That we don't know. Obviously, the only thing that we can say is that the constant factor in all of this is Mikel Arteta and Josh Kroenke. These are the 2 main common sort of factors in the 6-7 years that Arteta's been here. Everyone else, like Edu, he's come, he's gone. We've had that Vinay Venkatesham, he was here, he went as well. So again, everyone's relatively new. The only common ones are Arteta and Kroenke, and Arteta's been made manager. So what are the chances of him and Kroenke, him and Josh having a conversation pretty much every night about this? Yeah, I think that's probably right. I think they have a conversation every single night. But unfortunately, he's talking to the wrong person. He needs to be talking. Him and Burton need to sit down and do this properly. I'm not saying that they don't, obviously, but it just seems like they just haven't spoken to each other since Burton started. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, oh, I'm just going to ignore you, mate. I don't need you right now. Because that's what it's felt like. So he's gone out and gone, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to go out and buy a Gyökeres then because you want Sesko, so I'm just going to go get this guy. And yeah, so it's not... they're not. It just doesn't feel like they're communicating as efficiently with each other as possible. And again, the signings that they brought in and the lack of signings that they haven't brought in, it's evidence that they're not communicating with each other about who's coming in and what they need that player to come in for. Because Norgard, okay, yeah, he came in to really replace Partey, but we got rid of Jorginho as well. So there's 2 players gone, 1 player came in. Really, when you think about it. So I know Zubamendi came in as well, but Zubamendi was, he was already signed since January or March or whatever it was. And he was always sort of coming in. That number 6 was always coming in, but then we had 2 players who could cover, and both of them are gone. So now we've actually got 1 number 6.
Marino.
Is he going to be a backup striker to Havertz? Because we're not going to have a striker? I think so, my friend. I think so.
What, mate?
Norgard. So you've got Zubamendi and Norgard, but then what? One injury, then we're fucked. Okay, then people are like, oh, we'll move Rice into that 6th position. Brilliant, we'll move Rice into that position. Excellent. Then Havertz moves into an 8. Okay, where's our striker? So it's. I know. Obviously, look. The thing is, we've reached a point where it's a joke to us now because it just logically doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? It's one of those sort of just outlandish jokes where you think, oh, okay, a bit of a stretch of the imagination. I can laugh at that. So that's where I feel like I am, and I know you are as well.
I don't know about yourself, but with me, the frustration builds like daily. Every passing day, that's like. Sorry, I'm just something's happened on my screen.
No,
sorry. Fuck's sake. Remove notification. Oh my god, what's happened?
Something has happened. I'm afraid.
No, every day builds up. It builds up with the frustration of no signings of, ones that are going to get us excited. And I think you were right before what you said about we are building a squad. It's about squad building, and I like the fact that we've signed Norgard. I like the fact that we've signed Zubamendi.
Yeah.
We need to add and not replace. I've just seen there on Sky on Facebook there saying that Fenerbahce have reached a personal agreement on personal terms with Trossard. Okay, so if he goes, it must be that we're getting Eze. But we still need to. I mean, we are recycling all stuff, but I think it just frustrates the hell out of me that we're though this far into the transfer window, and we're this close to the pre-season.
Yeah,
and it's just going to be as deflated as I was last summer when I knew we our pre-season was okay, but the season before was fantastic and we had a great season. But last season our pre-season was shit because we didn't have the players that we wanted.
Yeah.
And this season's going to end up exactly the same because we're going to go into it half-heartedly. And I know the players will feel the same way. If they go in without a recognised striker, just the same players, they're going to be deflated. They'll know.
Of course, yeah.
Because they were all expecting them to get like an extra help up front, whether it was some great player like Gyökeres or was it Eze or was it Rodrigo, Anthony Gordon, whoever. It just creates like a bit of enthusiasm within the squad. It's like a new face, a new player. It gives the players a bit of a buzz. But I just think, like you say, if nothing happens in the next 2 weeks, I don't think we should talk about the transfers unless there is any, because like I say, it's just so frustrating. And
I agree.
Obviously, I know we're all frustrated, but we can't do anything else other than accept the fact that we might not get any, and it's fucking killing me.
I think that's what's frustrating me more than anything is the fact that in my brain I'm like, well, we're not going to sign anyone, even though there's been that many rumours and there's still rumours persisting. But still in my brain I'm like, we're not going to sign anyone. And I think that's what's bringing my frustration to the forefront, really, because it's like, well, there's so much linkage to very good players, but then we're just not doing any of it, and it's like, that's the face that you saw earlier as well.
Just a quick one. You know, obviously, Alanga goes to Newcastle.
Yes.
Kudus has gone to the Spuds. Now, I know obviously we're not sort of the same. We're not on the same forums as such as that. But were they linked with these players for weeks and months, or has it just happened kind of relatively quick? There's none of this bullshit backwards and forwards debating prices or anything.
No,
it just seems to be done and dusted. They want that price for it paid. Why can't we?
That's what I said. You know, it just feels like we're trying to be more of a business rather than a football club. Business first and then football club, which it doesn't work because again you're taking away from the fundamentals and the foundations of the sport and what wins you matches, and then all of a sudden you're just thinking about profits and revenue, and that's business talk.
Yeah.
That's business talk.
That's the American way, isn't it?
That's it.
They see us as a business.
Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately, that's just the way that it seemed. You know, we've always been on the cusp of winning. Barring maybe like a couple of seasons where we were just garbage. But we've always been on the cusp of winning. Like, you know, throughout the Premier League history, it's always been Arsenal and Man U. Then it was Chelsea or Arsenal. And then obviously, you know, a couple of years we had Man City, Man U and Chelsea sort of fighting. After that, we had Man City, Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Arsenal. So we've always been right there at the top challenging. Even when Leicester won, we were still there at the top challenging. Maybe that could have been the season that we won, but anyway, we're not going to talk about that. But we've always been there, like right at the top. Maybe, like I said, maybe a couple of, maybe 3-4 years in the sort of early 2010s where we were nowhere near. But after that, man, we were always there. Late 2010s, obviously, when after Wenger left. That's what I was trying to say. After 2018. But that was the worst period. Everything before that, like I said, we were very close. We were there with everything. Champions League, we were always there. You know, at least to the quarterfinals. Premier League's second or third, top four definitely. Always had Champions League football. So we've lost the value of the squad, really, of the club itself. You know, we've sort of gone too much into let's throw all of our eggs into one certain basket rather than let's see what's going on. But you know, with the rest of the competition. But in order for you to do that, then that's what squad building has to happen correctly. Okay, because me and you can build a squad. 120 million, we can build a fucking squad, but we need to do that correctly. So that's where everything sort of enters the brain and leaves in frustration. It's like, fucking hell, we've been so close for so many years and we're still not understanding that the transfer window is very fucking important. And it doesn't mean, just because you've signed 3 players in the summer, that doesn't mean that's sufficient enough for the end of the season. Because then all it takes is one Saliba injury, for example, you know, in 23-24 season, 22-23 season, Saliba got injured in January, boom, see you later. End of story. That's all she wrote. Even though we had the opportunity to buy a backup, even if it was on loan or even if it was a very short-term deal, bring someone in.
Why do you think that? Do you think that's the owners? I think it's the managing.
I can't, honestly, Stevie, I know we've said this a lot of times and I truly believe this. I just can't imagine a manager who doesn't want players. Like, I can't. Because if it was, for example, like it was for a few weeks between Gyökeres and Sesko, that sounded like the manager hasn't agreed with the sporting director, for example, right? If there's only one player like an Eze or a Rodrigo that we've been linked with for the wing, for example, that to me usually says that everyone's in agreement that this is the player that they like, but the price is the factor that's obviously going to not make it happen, and that unfortunately that comes from the board, from the owners. So it feels that way. Again, I 100% couldn't tell you. I couldn't, swear an oath or anything like that. What's actually happening behind the scenes, but it just feels like that. Whenever there's like a Gyökeres and a Sesko situation, that is very clear that the manager and the sporting director, they're the ones at odds here. They're the ones who are sort of not arguing, but debating who's going to be the better player. If there's only one link for that position, for example, then I just feel like at that point everyone is in agreement. Everyone knows who's going to come in. But the board and the owners are like, well, sorry, pal, can't do it. we've had to invest a lot in Denver, or we had to invest a lot in Los Angeles in the baseball stadium, the $5 billion fucking dollar stadium that they built. So, yeah, this is the problem with privately owned firms and clubs such as ourselves versus the public invested clubs like the Man Cities and Newcastles, because they don't have these worries. You know, they don't have these worries. They can write off any sort of pricing, anything, just boom, done. You want that player? Done. That's it. So yeah, I think it's a mixture of both, but I think ultimately it comes down to the owners, because they're the ones who have the paycheck. So yeah,
that's why I don't think we'll ever win anything with the Kroenkes in charge. And it's part of me. I never want us to lose. I never want us to fail. But sometimes, when failure comes around, it brings about change. And I just think sometimes if we could fail so badly that we finish mid-table, would the fans revolt and want us to, on stage like a protest to have someone else to buy the club? Because I don't. Like I say, what you're saying before about the club is a business, and the manager would want to play if it was down to him. So I do think that he is actually being controlled then by the purse strings, if that's what you're to believe. So I'm actually under the impression that it's the club, it's the owners, they're actually holding us back. And I thought it for a while. I thought it under Wenger, because Wenger was probably one of the best managers that we've ever had, and he seemed as though he was shopping in fucking Aldi, Asda, or whatever you want to call it, all the time, and
Poundland,
behaving with miracles, with what the team he had. And I just think Arteta's probably doing the same thing, but I don't know. But my argument will be that we won't win anything under the Kroenkes, and unfortunately, it's proven that way now, because they're not ambitious enough by, pussyfooting around with a couple of million here and there, not being aggressive in this transfer market. So I'm not going to say any more about it, because we've exhausted it.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have. I think the last thing I'll say on it. Sorry.
My brain's gone as well.
Yes, yeah, definitely. There's only one bit that I want to have a quick chat about, but just to finish off on this, I think the Kroenkes, they do need to take some sort of, not advice, but just look at the likes of Todd Bowley. And I'm not saying go that route of buying everyone and then selling them off or whatever he needs to do and then extending the dressing room. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is just take a small paragraph from his book, not a page, just a small paragraph from Bowley's book, because again, I'm not saying he's doing it the right way, but whenever they need, every season they need refreshments, they need sorry, not refreshments, not cans of Coke or anything. they need fresh players or fresh buys, if you will, and he does that. And again, he gets rid of the players that he's already brought in. Like, obviously, I know he never brought in Havertz, but he got rid of Havertz when he came in after he bought players, and that's quite a bit of money. He's looking to offload.
They must have signed loads last season. I mean, they've signed 5 already. They must have signed 10 last season.
Yeah.
They probably got rid of some, but they've signed 5 already. I mean,
and that was only the 1st of June as well. So in one day. But no, like I said, I think they do need to, especially the Kroenkes, they do need to look at Chelsea's method of doing business and sort of find the fine line between what we do and what they do, because again, what they do is too extreme. So, but yeah, I have nothing else to add on Arsenal. I think we've discussed everything that there has been to discuss, especially during the summer. Before we do leave the pod, though, obviously one of the biggest news is how do I say this? One of the biggest news.
The biggest news of the day.
Okay, news of the week. There it is. Obviously, our boy Christian Horner. He's the Horn Dog has been sacked.
Horner Simpson. Oh dear.
Love it. Horner Simpson, love it. Love that. That's brilliant. Genius. So he's been let go, Stevie. They've let him go. Red Bull were like 6 championships and 8 drivers' championships. It's not good enough. We're gonna get rid of you, Big Chris.
Do you think it was Sorry, do you think it
Go on.
was? Have they replaced him with Jos?
No, Jos has actually taken over Red Bull itself as a company. No, I think no, they brought in Laura Mekis from Racing Balls as the interim principal, and they made Alan Permain the new principal of Racing Balls. But I think it's only going to be interim for Mekis. I don't think it's going to be permanent, because they were saying, news articles like The Race and Sky Sports themselves, that were saying that he's quite settled in Fiorano in Italy, obviously where Racing Bulls are based. So they're saying he's quite settled out there, so chances are that he probably won't take the job permanently. But I mean, who would take that job? Like, who is that could take that job realistically?
I haven't got a clue.
I was going to say,
no clue whatsoever. I mean, I quickly read Sky Sports, and I read obviously why they sacked him, but there's still kind of no definitive reason. And is he going to go elsewhere this year? Is he going to get a job in Ferrari? We'd all love him there, but what is going to happen? It's a bit of a strange one, really, isn't it?
It's massively strange, and I think what the strangest part of it all, I think, was the fact that he got sacked at halfway point of the season. And I think it's a little bit unfair if he was sacked for performances, because, well, say unfair, I mean, it's not really unfair, because the buck really stops with him in terms of how the drivers are performing, and unfortunately he only had one driver performing. But I think mainly he got sacked because of the culture that he had at Red Bull, and obviously, evidently running with one car rather than with both cars, even though Yuki is out there racing and stuff. But it's just never going to be the same setup as Max, or the same power as Max's car. And to be fair, all the previous drivers who have come and gone at Red Bull, they've all said the same thing: the car is set up for one driver alone. And I think that falls down to the culture of what Horner did at Red Bull, which is fair enough, all well and good. He did win 8 drivers' championships between two drivers.
It's not a bad thing, is it? It was a very successful method.
Absolutely.
Yes, they only had one driver, but still, he put them on the map. He won how many championships? Yes, so it was only had one driver, but all the rest, look at Ferrari at the minute. They can't get on the podium, really. Yes, McLaren are now, and they've got 2 drivers that are competing, which is, I suppose, that's what they might be looking at with Red Bull. Why haven't they got 2 drivers like McLaren? Yeah. You don't know, do you? But
the thing is that, I mean, that question is all well and good being asked by Red Bull, like, why have we only got one driver performing? But my answer to that is, like, why are you not giving your second driver the right car?
Yeah.
And you got rid of a very good driver in Checo because apparently it was his fault, but it was never his fault. Ricciardo told you that. Gasly told you that. Albon told you that. Tsunoda's going to tell you that. Lawson is going to say the same thing now that Horner's gone. So I think, I was more surprised that it happened so quickly. I wasn't really surprised that it actually happened, because it was always discussed, even last season when that whole scandal came out of him, again, being Christian the Horn Dog. I think that after that, I think that's when everything sort of started falling apart for him, and unfortunately it's come to an end. Whether he was, again, another situation like the Partey thing, whether he was guilty of whatever he was accused of or not, I don't know. I don't care about that, because I haven't heard anything about it one way or the other, so I couldn't care less. I'm not even going to count that as a reason. But performances, yeah, I get that's why they sacked him. But on the flip side of that is, well, hang on a minute, mate, this guy's been on top of Formula One since the beginning of 2020. 2021, sorry. Since he won the first championship, he's been on top. They've had some of the best seasons. They had a record-breaking season in 2023 when they won 19 out of 23 races, or 22 races, however much it was.
22 races, wasn't it? I think.
So sorry, excuse me, and just the fact that they got rid of him like that. I don't know. It's not just about performances. That's all I'm trying to say. Like it may seem that way because it's very convenient to place the reason there or the justification there, but I don't think it was because of that.
Do you think it has anything to do with obviously Jos? Him and Jos didn't get on. Then he was there was talk that Max may have had his head turned by Mercedes, and it may have been, it's either you or him, effectively, and they didn't want to lose Max. But then surely he's bigger than a driver. I don't know.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? You'd think so.
Yeah.
I will tend to agree with you on that one. Like, I feel like the team principal should be bigger than the driver. I don't care how big the driver is. Even Schumacher wasn't bigger than Ross Brawn or Jean Todt. Do you know what I mean? Like, he had respect for them, and I'm not saying Max doesn't have respect for Horner. I feel like obviously his dad has been in his ear quite a lot. Same as Helmut Marko as well, and the fact that obviously the Newies left, the Jonathan Wheatley's left, and a couple of race engineers left as well. That's not a good look for the team itself, but definitely not a good look for the team principal. Like, the manager, he's the guy literally hiring and firing these guys, and they're all leaving. It just doesn't look good. So I think it's obviously a deeper reason there, even though Christian Horner has come out and said to Sky Sports and said he's not really sure what the reason was that they sacked him. They never officially gave him a reason, he said. That to me means that the reason was, look, Horn Dog, you bring in a lot of bad publicity to us with your, with your dick out your zipper or whatever the fuck he was doing. So unfortunately, we're going to have to let you go because... that's affecting us now. Okay, your bell end is actually affecting us right now. So, but no, again, that's why I tend to think that is probably the reason. Just Verstappen, just the Verstappens in general, 1,000,000% they had something to do with it. For now, like especially now that the whole Horner thing happened, I do not believe for 1 second that the whole Max to Mercedes things was a genuine move or on the cards. I 1,000,000% doubt it. I think Jos and Max, maybe not Max himself, because again, Max had no reason to get rid of Horner. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, basically, Max was running the team, so it's like, well, Horner's my bitch, so why the fuck would I want to get rid of him? But obviously, his dad didn't like him, so I feel Jos had a conversation with Toto. Fucking hell, with Toto. Jesus Christ.
Toto Wolff.
Oh my God, yeah, he had a conversation with Toto Wolff, and I think that's where the rumor started. So, and obviously when Toto was asked about it, and the one thing that he was saying was, well, it'd be stupid not to speak to one of the best drivers on the grid, which is a normal answer. That in no way does that say that they were serious. They could be having a conversation, a joke, come to Merck. Nah, I'm doing all right here, thanks. Again, that could have been the conversation that him and Max had. But we don't know that, but everything's been blown out of proportion. So, but yeah, I think Jos Verstappen got involved, spread the rumors, and here we are. And you're right. I think it was a case of where Oliver Mintzlaff, which is the CEO of Red Bull, I think he just sort of went, well, we're not going to get rid of our four-time champion, really, are we? So, and they got rid of Horner, and I still can't believe it. After 20 years of him basically building that team from the ground up, and he did. He built that team from the ground up. To get rid of him just like that, I don't know, man. There must have seriously gone wrong there.
I think it's ruined their season, hasn't it?
I think so.
No doubt. I think that's them out of the title.
I think so, and I don't think Max is gonna sort of perform to the levels. Not because he can't. I just don't think he wants to at this point.
But I think has he lost? Will Horner have taken some of his backroom stuff obviously with him? I don't think they'll keep the same team around Max, will they? If he's being sacked, I think they might
doubt it. Yeah, I doubt that, to be honest. And it all depends on like, what the actual conversation was behind the scenes, and like, if it's a case of where, right, Christian, we have to get rid of it because of performances, then yeah, I think you get rid of the squad around him as well. If it was for personal issues and personal misconduct, then I don't think it's fair to get rid of the team, because, say what you want about Horner and Red Bull, they were doing really well. Even this season, they haven't been doing bad. Max is still third in the fucking championship. So it can't be that bad. But obviously I understand that it's a team sport. There's two cars. There's supposed to be two cars on the grid. One's definitely outperforming the other one. But that could have been the strategy that Horner pulled, and maybe Red Bull themselves had enough of it. They were like, well, we don't want that. We want two teams. We want two cars.
Drivers,
yeah, two cars up there. We want to win another Constructors' Championship. So yeah, it was just a shocking news, really surprising. And obviously I've read a lot of stuff. I've watched a lot of channels. talking about this, and there was never a definitive reason as to why he was sacked. But we can all speculate, like, you know, there's personal issues and stuff like that. But one thing I will say though, real quick, Stevie, I did feel extra bad for Horner because a few days before that, before he got sacked, his first wife had passed away. So the mother of his daughter. So I just think that's a bit shitty from Red Bull.
Yeah,
right. It's a bit shitty. You know what I mean? I mean, you could wait until the
belt, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, they've got 3 weeks of a break between now and obviously and Belgium. So surely you could have picked a better fucking time to get rid of him. And it's not like you're going to go to Spa, Christian's there, or before Christian arrives, you sack him, and you're going to be like, oh, I don't have a team principal. No, because you already had that conversation. Like, you already knew who was going to come in. So you could have waited literally a week before Spa, got rid of Christian Horner, nothing would have changed. And Red Bull wouldn't have seen such dicks. But I think for me personally, with Red Bull, they need to get rid of Helmut Marko as well. I don't think he has absolutely any use to that team, apart from being the advisor or whatever it is. Don't know what he's advising. Don't think he was a driver, was he? I don't think Marko was a driver, was he?
Might have been, I'm not sure.
Do you know what? Because I think, didn't he get an injury actually? Do you know what I'm saying that? Steve? 2 seconds. Before we close, I need to find out what was Helmut Marko.
Wasn't he involved in like a fire accident or something? I don't know.
Yeah, so he wasn't motorsports racing driver, yeah, he was. Let's have a look, 2 seconds, please. Yeah, wow, competed in Formula 1 from 71 to 72, so not really that.
Yes, he was the brief.
That's very brief. Yeah, he actually won the 24-hour Le Mans in 1971.
Wow.
Believe that. Okay, so that's where he gets his respect from then.
Wow.
That is brilliant. Okay, there you go then. So, okay, I take it back. But at the same time, fuck Marko. Fuck that guy. But yeah, there you go. So he was a racing driver for people out there who wanted to know. But look, in terms of the Red Bull situation, obviously they were talking about Fred Vasseur being potentially sacked a couple of weeks ago, and then this happens, and then obviously speculations will run wild and be like, well, does that mean that he's going to take over Ferrari? And who was that? I think it was. I don't think it was Crofty. It was Ted. It was Ted Kravitz. He said in one of the podcasts, he said that I can't see that happening purely because of the personality clash and the culture clash between Hamilton, Leclerc, and Horner. And after he said that, I was like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Because I don't think Horner's would get on with Ferraris. He will demand way too much, and the Ferrari guys will be like. That was me taking a sip of my espresso, by the way. I know you saw that, but people didn't see that. So I think culture clash amongst them 4 entities. I don't think that's going to work, and I don't think we'll see.
You're right, but you never know, do you? I think strange things have happened, and maybe that's
like Lewis to Ferrari. That was strange.
I think that it could be just the catalyst that they need to actually win him a championship. Who knows? Strange things have happened, like you say, and it would, I think, be brilliant, and it would be great for Lewis. Because obviously he's struggling at the moment, but you never know, do you? Like I say, it's strange things have happened, and I think it potentially would work, but I can't see it, like you say. I can't see it.
So your personal opinion is that that would be a great.
If he could take over and do what he did at Red Bull. I don't know whether it would be an instant success, because obviously you'd have to learn everything, all the different sort of setups, etc., etc. I just think that eventually it would be a good thing, and it would be good for Lewis, but I can't see it impacting him. And he's only got like probably a year and a half left of his best days ahead of him, so probably not. I don't think it's going to work personally. I would think it would, but I don't think it would.
I'm with you. I would love to see that happen. I think it would be a very good move from both, because I feel like you said it will be a kick in the ass especially for Ferrari, because I don't think Christian Horner, when you look at him, you can't say that he wasn't dedicated to Red Bull. You know what I mean? Like, you say Red Bull, you automatically picture Christian Horner. Like, that's just the way it was. They would just it was one entity.
Yeah.
So part of me thinks that's probably the biggest reason why he won't move to Ferrari. But at the same time, I would just love to see it happen because, it would be a kick in the ass for the Ferrari team, for the Scuderia, to actually do something. I think it'll be a good move, even for Lewis. Not sure about Charles, I'll be honest. I don't think Charles would like that. But for Lewis, I think Lewis can take the pressure, and unfortunately, Charles cannot take that pressure because we saw him at Silverstone as well. Like, it just could not.
It's a good race, that, actually, wasn't it?
It was a good race. I enjoyed that. But yeah, I mean, last few words on Horner before we
No, I don't think there's much really to say. It's a bit of a shock, like you say, but it probably was coming, and I think the Jos and Max power broker sort of, I think they have the final say really, and unfortunately it shouldn't happen. The driver or the footballer like Beckham wasn't as big as Fergie, so. Beckham left. I think it should have been a similar sort of scenario, but obviously there's more to it that we're not privy to. But yeah,
agree. Okay, last thing before we leave, a quick question then. Do you think that Piastri's 10-second penalty was justified?
No.
Okay, I will disagree with you on that one. I think it was, but that's fine.
I think I've watched it a few times, and Max. I think you could argue that Max is too close. You could argue the fact that there wasn't much space, and the safety car left quite abruptly. There's a few things that I think was a bit harsh, and I know I'm against Max, but I think he used to do exactly the same thing against Lewis. So I don't know. I think it was a bit harsh personally, and I can't really argue against Piastri because I don't like Max as a person.
That's fair.
As a driver, he's good. But I know what you're going to say. Well, go on.
I think it was justified because you watch that in real time through the spray. The fact that he just slammed on the brakes, which again, I'm not saying he should be going slow. That's not what I'm saying. Obviously, he needs to build up that space between himself and the safety car. However, the fact that when you look at the telemetry broken down, you see the slamming of the brakes and that close as well. Because the thing is, it's not even like at first you see the background, you think, oh my god, he's bunched up the whole grid. But then when you actually see it from the other side of the grid, like through an Ocon who was at the very end of the joining the grid, when you see it that way, there was never really a massive bunch up, to be honest. It just wasn't, because everyone had already seen it. However, the fact that through the spray, Piastri picked up speed and then slammed on the brakes, and what made it infinitely worse was the fact that it was raining. And again,
did he slam on his brakes? I just looked as though he just took his foot off the accelerator. Like he accelerated and then took his foot off the accelerator really quick, and Max thought he was obviously going then, but the fact is that he wasn't, and then Max came up really close behind him, like Max does, because he didn't want him to get away. I don't know. I'm still not 100%.
So with Piastri's braking, that's undisputed. Like that's something that has been proven that yes, he did that, and he pressed the brakes with more force than he was supposed to. I mean, he went down like 120 fucking kilometers, like boom, straight away. That's excessive. And the rules state, by the way, that you cannot go below a certain speed. Once the safety car sort of leaves and the safety car lights are out, you can dictate the speed, which is fine. I'm not saying that he shouldn't be going slow. I'm not saying that. However, if you're going excessively slow or excessively accelerate and then excessively brake, that's when it becomes a problem. And unfortunately for Piastri, all three of those happened. And what made it even worse was like 3 laps beforehand during the first safety car, he did exactly the same thing. But because it wasn't that abrupt, Max had time to sort of match the braking to Oscar's braking. Whereas through that particular section coming up onto the straight, through that spray, the fact that Oscar slammed his brakes like that was just dangerous. And I think that's why he got the 10-second penalty. The fact that it was a dangerous move. George should have got it back in Canada. He should have got the same penalty. He didn't, which is fair enough. Some people say British bias. I don't know. I don't subscribe to that method of thinking, but whatever. So I think with Piastri though, like with George, I never during that discussion that we had after the race, I never said that George should have got a 10-second penalty. I don't think I did. I'm going to have to go back and listen to that. But as soon as I watched the Oscar situation live, like watching it with my dad, I was like, whoa, what the fuck is he doing there? Because, again, it just seemed a little bit excessive. If he had a little bit more time and he slammed on the brakes, then yeah, fair enough. And Max wasn't sort of, right up his wing sort of thing. Max was quite far behind. But because of the spray, it makes it seem like the car in front is accelerating. So you accelerate after it, but then by the time he hits the brakes, it may be a bit too late to realise. That's why he did a bit of evasive manoeuvre, got onto the grass. So I think it was justified personally, but again, you're not the only one who's disagreed with me. Like even watching Jolie and Palmer, I was expecting to be like, yep, that was a 10-second penalty. Nope, he went the other way. He was like, nope, I think it's a bit harsh. And then you watch other people like from the F1 world, they go, yep, he kind of deserved that. Martin Brundle said the same thing on the commentary. Bit of a naughty move. So yeah, it depends on how you do. But like if you're going to go by the rules of F1. But unfortunately, he broke those rules, excessively braking, accelerating, and obviously, manoeuvring. But yeah, I don't want to talk about the race too much, to be honest. McLaren won. Nico Hülkenberg, sorry, yeah, that's the last thing. Nico Hülkenberg, last words on that. What do you think? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I thought he did brilliant, didn't he, really? I mean...
Excellent race.
Yeah, obviously, I have to jog my memory now about it. I know, obviously, Lewis had a bit of a chance to probably catch him, but he had a few mistakes. I think he went off, didn't he? He didn't show it, I don't think, but he was getting on him. He was like sort of he's about 8 seconds, and he got it down to about 5, then 4, and I was thinking I was going to catch him. And then I think he
came close, didn't he? He came very, very close. But I'll be honest, sometimes I think he kind of let him. He just let him. He was like, fuck it. Nico's never won he's never been on the podium before. I'll just let him. Again, it's speculation. I don't want to get into it, but I just thought, it was just a happy little moment, wasn't it, for everyone, really? Because, it's Nico Hülkenberg. It's like, dude.
I'm sure he did all right against Piastri. We were talking about this, weren't we? Piastri couldn't get past him, and was it Austria? I think it was.
Yes. Yes, Austria. Yeah,
who
that's
are
right.
they powered by then? Is it Mercedes?
The Sauber.
The engine is it a Mercedes engine?
I think it is a Mercedes.
It's a decent package, isn't it?
Or is it Ferrari? No, I know Haas is Ferrari. Quick Sauber engine. Let me have a quick look. So it was a Ferrari.
Is it Ferrari?
Ferrari, yeah, Ferrari power unit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's good. I don't think obviously they'll be on anywhere near in Spa, but it was a nice change, wasn't it?
I enjoyed it, it was good to see, really, someone different on the podium. But yeah, Stevie, anything else you want to add, by the way, before we bring it to an end?
I do. I want to add one more poignant note. I don't know if we spoke about it, but condolences go out to obviously Jordan.
It's a shame. It's a damn shame. What a player. And honestly, a mate of mine messaged the group that were in like the football group, and he dropped that, and I was like, what the hell are you talking about? So I went online, and again, it was literally minutes of that report coming out. Like, it must have been just as it came out, I read it. But yeah, it's a fucking shame. It really is, because again, he was such a good player. Like, especially against us. I'm not going to miss him against us, I'll be honest.
No. I know when you sent me a text, you sent me a text, and the news flash came up on my phone, and you sent me a text, and I was like, fuck me, I was looking at it all day, and I thought, as much, he probably couldn't against Arsenal.
He was.
He used to always score against us. Always, he was a bit like a Firmino, and he always used to score against us. I think, fucking hell, but sad news, that, mate. Very sad. It really
was. And the way that obviously it happened, it's just tragic, really. So, and 3 kids, just got married, won the league, won the Nations League. Fucking hell.
In the circumstances, wasn't his doctor had told him not to fly, so they were rushing to get back to the ferry. I mean, fucking hell, fate or what? Time's up.
It's like Final Destination, isn't it? It makes you think of that movie, and that's the reason why I don't watch those movies anymore.
I don't like them.
I'm not tempting fate, mate. I'll tell you that right now. I'm not doing it. So, but yeah, it's a sad. We'll end it on that sad note, because we've talked about a lot of pissed off notes today. So let's end it on a sad note, something different. And if you've got nothing else to add, mate, we'll call it a night. We'll get this out for everyone to get into their ear holes. That's right. Ear holes. It happened. I said it. You'll get over it. Thank you so much for being here. We'll catch you on the next one. Stay safe. Stay alert.
Au revoir. CC. Au revoir. Oui. CC.
For people who are not going to watch the video, I was conducting him. I was the conductor in the background. Brilliant. Right, we're going. See you later.